Hi, I'm Louanne Midgley with Tell Your Story Videos, and this is Shop Talk. Today, I'm going to be speaking with Kirsten Anderson of Integrate Play Solutions. Kirsten is an international speaker, facilitator, and coach. And today, we're going to be finding out how Kirsten brings play into the workplace. Kirsten, I'm so looking forward to speaking with you. Tell me a little bit about how you became an international speaker, facilitator, and coach, and a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are today.
Yes, the Playful Path to Integrate Play Solutions. Well, it all started back when I was a child. No, well, of course, your parents do influence you. My dad is an organizational psychologist. My mom is a business person. She had a Granville Island Toy Company down in Kids Market. So she pulled me out of the movie theater management industry. Where I was at 19, and I ended up managing her store for 10 years and eventually flew off after getting certified as a professional coach. Nobody knew what a personal coach was back then. So I just decided I'm going to open my own toy store in Port Moody. And the exciting part of that journey was like within 6 months, we had national news coverage. Because we were wearing white lab coats as toyologists, we were giving out prescriptions for play. And then Global TV ended up asking us to be their play experts for about 12 years, which really gave me a good, solid foundation in speaking impromptu and speaking in front of a camera. And people started asking me to speak on play. And then I started researching like how the benefits of play for children. I saw this massive deprivation of play in kids, that kids were playing for a shorter and shorter time compression. So, when I started in the toy industry, say in 1990, we were selling toys like crazy right up to 13. And then it was getting shorter and shorter. So it was like 10 was kind of like a lot less toys being sold to kids because of screens, because of other activities that kids were getting involved in, because the cool factor. It's like, how do we get kids playing longer? Well, if it's not cool, we need teenagers playing more. And if teenagers aren't playing, it's because adults aren't playing. And then that led the rabbit hole to what are the benefits for adults at work? And that is why I decided after 25 years in the toy industry, I've got to spread this. I'm on a mission to spread the benefits of play, primarily to adults at work, thinking about the trickle-down effect.
Oh, wow, that is incredible. That is quite the path, actually. But it all makes sense. It all kind of comes to a point. And so you're working with adults now, and kind of describe for me what that looks like. So you were getting on a plane before COVID and getting out there and speaking and to conferences at conferences. And so what did that look like for a participant to come into one of your rooms and learn about what you do?
Yeah, well, I developed this framework called the Playful Mindset, and that was for my first paid keynote, which was in Denmark, believe it or not. And so my keynotes are very interactive. So I talk about how the bottom line benefits of playfulness at work, and then we actually play, and people get to feel and embody what that feels like to play and how that could actually work for them in the workplace. So that is a part of it. Now, before COVID, I was 100% in person. So yeah, I was flying all over the place in the US and Europe, but then I got certified in Lego Serious Play. And so we were doing a lot of workshops with organizations right up till March 12th, working with big teams to come in and talk about connection and belonging, or creativity and innovation, or culture or wellness. But digging into the topic using the Lego Serious Play, which is a whole nother topic. But now that we're online, the Lego needs to be shipped to people. So we've shifted more to, in the online space, to doing a lot of applied improv games. Not that we necessarily talk about that's what it is, but we do a lot of interactive games that embody what we're teaching, basically. So it's a mix of training and facilitation and very experiential.
So that's great. Experiential. what does it mean to be experiential? What does that mean for you and what you do?
Yeah, it might be two people that are doing an activity together, or it might be in groups of 5. So it can happen in a conference setting in a large, like I've done this, believe it or not, with 1,300 people. We did We for She in Vancouver with 1,300 people. They all, first we did the Lego. So everyone had their own little like Lego ducks that they were building. And we talked about creativity and the judgment that we put on ourselves when we play and how that enhances creative problem solving. And then we did some drawing exercises. So that's what I mean by experiential. Like all those people can do it and still pull out the learning, because that's the best way we learn for at any age. People are starting to get it that you learn best through learning, and 70 to 80% of our brain cells are hooked up to we're wired up to our hands. So when we're actually physically doing something with our hands, it's bringing in that learning that much more. So yeah, we can do it for large groups, but online it's usually, let's say, I mean, it varies online as well, but the average workshop would be, say, under 25 people.
And do you ever meet any kind of shyness maybe at first, that they're not quite sure because they like play and workplace, like they can't get it together, can't put it together maybe?
Sure, absolutely. Now, the industries that I've been mostly working in have been the tech industry, like really big tech companies, and then also higher education. So a lot of the universities and colleges. And when people sign up for something, then they're usually more on board right away. I remember specifically doing a workshop for a bunch of CEOs, and I asked them, why do you think you wouldn't play at work? And that was fascinating to get that feedback. And I knew all the answers that were going to come my way. And sure enough, the top one you can probably guess was fear of judgment. And there's so much stigma that they're afraid that they'll be judged as being distracted, unprofessional, that they're not taking their work seriously if they play. And of course, then I have to point out, the success stories like the Richard Bransons and the Tony Hsieh, who embodied this playfulness of spirit. And it was throughout the values of their entire organization, and how that, hugely grew. And there is no creativity and innovation without a playful mindset, without thinking playfully. You cannot create without play. So sometimes it's just about terminology and words and how people are perceiving things. I just have to say, like, you are already playing with ideas. You're already playing with possibilities as a CEO. So when you actually, and then there's the paradox of productivity that we really work on, where you're actually more productive when you create play throughout your day, when you have play breaks. And then there's this other piece where what you're doing is playful. So you might be working on a spreadsheet, but you're in flow and you lose track of time. That is also playful. And then how we communicate and collaborate, that can be playful too. So it really is amazing how it is into motivation. It's into every aspect of business, whether they're in accounting or they're an executive or they're on the front lines. Playfulness comes into play.
Oh, I love it. I love how you're describing it. And I would love for me to have some Lego right now so we could play.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
So what's the feedback that you're getting then from these CEOs that are telling you at the beginning that's the whole fear of judgment, and then they go through one of your sessions, and what's the word? What are you hearing?
Mm-hmm. Well, one workshop really will always stick in my mind. It was for like VIP clients of a bank. And so they were all top level executives, and some of them had their spouses with them. And they went through a Lego serious play, like a discussion around playful mindset. We had a little bit of Lego. And afterwards, a few of them came up to me and like with tears in their eyes. And so having that I've had a few, this happened a few times, but the emotional reaction of an adult man in his 70s that's kind of seen the light or had this epiphany of how their retirement might be different, or how they might approach work differently, or how they might approach just looking at a problem differently. Being more playful is like, that's why I do what I do. It's so, those I love, you can't get enough of those kind of reactions. You live for that.
Absolutely. And that was my next question for you is like, what do you love most about your job? But I can see you're so enthusiastic about probably every aspect of it. But what's the most thing? What really fires you up?
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right. It is the whole process. Like I love. I get into flow when I'm building a deck. When I'm creating something, it feels like. I mean, it's not artistic, but it feels like a work of art. Like there's a playfulness to bringing in the designs and the fonts and the what do I want to say? How do I want to create this story? And you can probably really relate to that with your business, Louanne. When we were kids, we were writing stories in elementary school, right? And creating pictures. So that is definitely one of my favorite ways to play. And then of course, being in the moment with people and having that connection. Right now, the top two requests from companies are connection and belonging, and resilience burnout. So that wellness piece. And that is super fulfilling to me to hear feedback about how people are using the exercises or the thought process or a change in behavior or action after the fact, if they think back on what we did. And that's super gratifying and fulfilling. Yeah.
So what are your plans for the rest of 2021? And getting through COVID, there is a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, but what are your plans going forward?
I am excited to be doing Wellness Wednesdays with a big tech company. So we're doing every Wednesday. We'll get together with their team and we'll have like 4 different themes for them. And more speaking and just putting myself out there, more playing. I do have a potential podcast in the works called Playing with Possibilities. So that might even get out into the world. And a little bit more writing on the topic of playful mindset, just so that the message can spread a little bit further and have a little bit more impact, because I know the world will be a better place from politics to religion to education to business. And so if we can, bring more playfulness to those areas, we're going to be able to relate to each other better. We're going to have less conflict, and we're going to be able to solve our problems that much more creatively. So yeah, it's a big mission. Not all in 2021.
Thanks, Kirsten, for meeting with me today and letting everyone know what you do with your business. It's so fascinating. And I wish you all the best going forward, and have a wonderful day playing with something. I'm going to get out some Lego here now and get my play on. And thanks a lot for meeting with me.
Thank you. Keep playing big in your business.